5, MnM versus who knows? We will be headed to the French embassy inside of Africa. And already the banning phase comes out. Glaz is the first one to bite the bullet. Glaz still very strong currently inside of the meta. You can combo him with different operators that do bring those smoke grenades, such as Dokkaebi, such as Jackal, Montagne. Of course, everything will change whenever the next patch comes out, and Glaz will have that rework. And also a Thermite ban coming in from MnM.
A little bit of an unusual one, but it does support the potential defence down in Garage there. If nothing else, it sort of forces a Hibana play or possibly a rear push instead, which if you've got no push whatsoever coming from the Garage side can be a little bit easier to shut down because it's more of a funnel coming in from that rear side. But we've got the Echo ban and the Maestro ban, not too much of a surprise. Generally you're looking 2 out of 3 there, with Mirror making up the third as to your main options for the defensive bans. I think Mirror, I've commented on it before, has a little less use on Consulate, so I can understand being left in.
I seen this on the Challenger League playoffs, where it was God Save Our Queen versus Nariki, and the both maps that were played inside of that match, Mira was let through each time. I don't know if this is some kind of new trend that team are starting to do, where they're letting Mira be allowed to be played on maps. Mira, looking back a couple of weeks ago, 100% ban rate, which is for good reason. Yeah, she's definitely getting through a lot more. Like I say, a map like Consulate, it doesn't surprise me too much. She does have uses, I'm not saying she doesn't, but they are more limited on a map like Consulate. She's pretty strong down in Garage. Apart from that, top floor, you can use her to watch admin would generally be the common use for Mirror up there, but otherwise, she's reasonably limited. So not too much of a surprise to see her slip through here, but I completely agree with Demo. Echo and Maestro have definitely seen a significant jump lately, with Mirror being allowed through. So moving into round number 1 then, we've got the preparation phase ongoing. We're going to see MnM Gaming on the attack first time out. As we've said previously for Consulate, it's a very strong roaming map. You've got 3 staircases there to rotate around. You can also have the option of dropping a couple of the hatches on that top floor to allow you to move from top floor to middle floor quite quickly, and as well it is possible from middle floor down to basement. So getting around this map quickly is easy. Interesting to see Prox up against MnM. Demo, do you think that's going to give any bit of an edge or a bit of knowledge to who knows? I think that it's a completely different team really coming into it already. Spawn Peak comes in, Ghosty manages to find one, but straight away the refrag comes in. They lose Capital, good bit of utility there being already taken out, but at the end of the day, you still have plenty of other operators to be used. Sure, spawn kills work, and like we've talked about, who knows? They need to start playing a lot more riskier if they want to try and make this succeed. So they will be heading upstairs for their console office defense. They put a little bit of pressure inside of admin, not a whole lot. I think the idea that Who Knows went for was Ghost goes aggressive with that ACOG, gets a spawn peak, manages to find a kill, falls back, and then he tries to hold that entire admin with that ACOG. Doesn't work out this time, so they've pretty much forfeited that entire side, and they're going to try and put heavy focus on C4s from below, which is a map like Consulate, a lot of destructibility, a lot of areas that you can C4 from. Essentially, both bomb sites are entirely destructible from below, so that's kind of the angle they need to play for. So this is where it comes down to MnM. Sure, MnM, you can take as much time as you want to try and clear out all of the anchors and take control of bomb site, but if you're planting and there's 2 seconds to go and you haven't touched Valkyrie, she will win that round for the defenders.
Yeah, I mean, the only added layer of difficulty there when you're relying on the Valkyrie C4 is the information. Pulse can obviously get that feedback himself, but Valkyrie's going to have to rely on cameras or call-outs from a teammate to know exactly when and where that plant's going down to hit the C4, but that's something that we'll no doubt see play out. We see Doki moving in there with a headshot onto Nathan, so that's going to put the man advantage in MnM's favour now with 1 minute 15 to go. This admin push is really starting to take hold as Citizen and Doki move in with 2 more headshots. MnM are not missing so far tonight. No Thumbs coming in and getting that refrag onto Citizen, but it is going to be an impactless kill as Doki moves in for, I believe it's his 3rd of the round onto No Thumbs. Close things out, 1-0 MnM. That's the first attack going in their direction.
Right. So, looking at Who Knows, we did touch upon that, yeah, they put a little bit of reinforcement in towards that admin area. MnM, they have both pushes. They can either go for the yellow stairs or that admin. This time they went for the admin. Not really MnM standard. Typically we see that yellow stairs be the preferred way to push 9 times out of 10. This time they managed to take things a little differently. Possibly that managed to catch out Who Knows by surprise. But I think it's the lack of information that you miss from not having Maestro or Echo. Typically that long corridor, it is shut down by a Maestro camera being placed possibly on the vending machines or on towards the table and towards console office. That gives you so much utility and so much information gathering. You don't have those. But Mira's still there. If she's there, take it, because it's still going to be something that MnM need to deal with. That may be why then we see the Twitch being brought up, because they fear that potential 6-pick Mira ban. Not going to be the case. Who Knows are sticking to their guns. And sure, Mira has fallen out of the meta a lot. Teams don't strat with them anymore because she's always getting banned. If she's available, and we know how strong she is, still pick her, because it'll give you a distinct advantage.
Yeah, I think either Mirror or even Pulse could have been, you know, particularly advantageous there. We've seen Prox play Pulse before. Getting down into the basement, we've seen how well Pulse is used from there to call out those admin pushes. There's no way that he can be damaged or attacked down there, and he just uses that heartbeat scanner, and he would have seen everybody approaching that east wall, repelling up towards admin, and at least then, like you say, the information's there, you know where the push is coming from. But that being said, we're going to move into round number 2. We are heading to the basement, so we're going to see a Cafe Garage hold, and we're going to see it without a thermite. So MnM were the ones to ban the thermite out. They've got Kendrew on the Hibana as predicted, so no major surprises there. It's just whether he's going to try and open that garage door or not, or whether they're going to use the Hibana to open up some hatches and drop and take that rear push on. We'll see as the round progresses. Currently we've got Ace hold in the bathroom, which is no major surprise. It's quite a common spot there.
I love this. I love this particular strategy. The teams have started to adapt. I think MnM were one of the early adapters of the FO12 Ella. We didn't really see this, not too much. Sure, Ella used to be one of the best operators in the game, but then she did get nerfed quite heavily to her Scorpion changes. However, FO12, still a great semi-automatic shotgun, can really pump out the rounds. You can see him playing it in here aggressive. I think Ace in this position either picks the fight or he just drops. He's wasted a bit of time. Good kills as well being picked up by Ghost. He's managed to find one as well. Nathan as well, a very heavy roam game, and it's worked out for Who Knows. MnM have kind of slowed down the pace just a little bit. They still have anchors on sight. They have no thumbs playing aggressive in yellow stairs. A great position for a smoke, can play up close and personal with a shotgun. However, equalizing kills comes in. Saves, finds one, and Citizen from the grave will get a Claymore kill. So it's a 2 versus 2. Prox only man on sight, and we still have Ace lurking inside of the bathroom.
Yeah, we've got Prox on site, as you say. He's at the dock, so he does have that ACOG, gives him a very powerful angle to hold to here. If they can get in and maybe just start working the vertical angle from the hatchback, clearing Ace out of the bathroom, I think they really need to be challenging him at this point. But like you say, that shotgun in such a tight space makes it very, very difficult. And Ace is just going to hold his position here for as long as he can, because he knows that he can. If we see the dock of Prox getting killed, he's just then going to drop. But that being said, he's moved himself out to the bottom of round stairs. Is he going to work back downstairs towards site? 45 seconds left to go, and he just wants to give a little bit more support down on site to Prox. So he's going to pull the pistol out. He doesn't want any long range engagements with that shotgun. He thinks he maybe hears somebody behind him, but he doesn't. Kendrew is actually in sight, and he's going to be getting the diffuser down now. He's getting pinged. Is this going to be successful? I think it is. Nobody makes the challenge, so we get a diffuser down. Sometimes it's just as powerful to play the objective. Ace gets the kill. Kendrew onto Prox, but that'll be traded straight back out. Great roaming plays from Ace there. Moves back into sight at the perfect time. He's going to get that counter diffuse, and that's going to grab the first round for Who Knows.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I really thought that MnM were going to have the advantage for that. Really, once you manage to find a plant, especially in towards White Van, it's so hard then for the defenders to try and retake that. But in this circumstance, that kind of shot MnM in the foot. If that was a thermite, you would have had the capability just to simply run out of a massive hole. It's a much more smaller hole where you have to crouch down to get through it. That actually significantly changes the way you can play in towards the plant. So maybe if MnM had the thermite there, that could have been a different case. Thermite plants the bomb, runs away as quick as he can. In this case, we had to see them go for the fights. Kendrew had to take it up. Unfortunately, we did see the gunfight being lost on the side of MnM, so well played to Who Knows. Another option there for Who Knows they could have went for is possibly whenever we knew Ella was still in bathroom, she could have went and opened up right above the planter. That could have completely been neutralised that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think MnM just didn't seem to apply enough focus to clearing those roamers out. Nathan top floor, Ace in bathroom. They got to a point where they just had to push site because of the, they've had Kendrew in there, like you say, he'd worked his way in with the Havana, and they were just a bit premature on heading into site, really.
I think it's the case that we don't really see many 2-1-2 splits. 2-1-2 splits, if you didn't know, is 2 on the top floor, 1 on the middle floor, and 2 on the bottom floor. Very unusual strategy that teams that either fully commit to the bathroom where they would play 2 potential roamers, 1 inside piano, 1 inside bathroom. Never really see anybody in towards the top floor if you are holding bathroom in that scenario. But this time, hey, it worked out for them, and maybe I think the next time, if they try and pull off that strategy, MnM, they may be ready for the adaptability.
So moving into round number 3, even spoils so far as we come in 1 apiece, and we've got 3 roamers off site here again. Who knows, confident with that roam game. They've seen some positive results in the last round. Looks like MnM going to be going for their much more standard yellow stairs push this time around. Ghost once again out there looking for those peaks with the Rook. It's absolutely no surprise he's got the first kill in both rounds so far. He lost his life in the first round, granted, but he's really been bringing that aggression for his team, and so far MnM haven't been able to deal with that. But it is early days yet, and we're going to see him pushing onto yellow stairs. He's got Ace backing him up. Is he going to get the first again? He does, with a kill onto saves, and that's one of MnM's fraggers down, so that could be a big one. He takes out the Claymore as well. He's going to go for the run out, but he will be challenged by Doki. He'll get the kill, but Ace backing him up gets the kill onto Doki, and that keeps the man advantage in Who's Knows favour. 3 versus 4 now. MnM with it all to do, and they might have to rethink this yellow stairs push as Kendrew gets down. That removes the hard breach capability. Ace with a 3k4 overall, and who saw this coming? Who knows? Really dominant at the minute with a fantastic garage run out to take the last 3 of MnM out.
Okay, that's a bit of a weird one. MnM seem to be rushing these rounds. This isn't what we're used to seeing from MnM. They take their time, they really do. Maybe it's the new playstyle that they have. They have saves being brought in and instead of Funkers playing, so maybe that's another thing that they kind of have to change up, is that quick aggressive playstyle that they maybe want to try and fit into. But really, it kind of looks like night and day compared to the way they played whenever they did qualify for Challenger League. I think whenever they played in Challenger League, they adapted, they played well. There was a couple of quick rush rounds, which sure, you can kind of pull them out now and again. But this time they seem to be rushing it very quickly. Even looking at that last top floor defense that they had to attack from, they went from that admin side. It was very rushed and very quick as well. They kind of won the round within 1 minute 30. This time, they're rushing it once again, trying to put all the utility they can. They're not covering their flanks, and a very common run out being that garage. I'm surprised that they're letting Who Knows gets away with this.
Yeah, totally agree. I think MnM probably need to just take a breath and slow down a little bit. There's a couple of things that we need to see them doing. First of all, that is approaching the building a little bit slower, a little bit more cautiously. They're losing people very, very early in the round. Ghost is having a field day. He's had the first kill in all 3 rounds so far. So I think MnM just need to take a little bit more care, a little bit more caution approaching the building. We can see Prox on the Rook there, just looking for a spawn peak as well. And it's absolutely no surprise they're having so much joy. Look at Ghost once again, waiting for anybody to appear. So MnM just need to slow things down. There we go, Ghost with the first kill again onto Doki. That's a fragger off the board. Last time it was saves, this time it's Doki. They have to do something to shut Ghost down. They need to be using the drones. They need to be watching the spawn peaks, and they need to be prepared for them. MnM need to just back off, slow things down, and start dealing with this roam game before moving on to objectives.
This reminds me very similarly of how Team Secret played against G2 way back in Week 2 of Pro League. They kind of threw all strategies they had out the window and just let Leon go absolutely mental. This kind of plays out the same way as what we've seen before. I don't really know what MnM can really do to stop this. It's a very sporadic strategy that doesn't work. We've seen it before from teams who know they have no chance of winning. They have nothing to lose. They just go out and play the match. We've seen this against Trust Gaming and Team Liquid, where Trust Gaming just did every run out they could have done on the Team Liquid. But still, who knows, have all the advantage. They still have Mira windows up. Another kill goes in favor of who knows. Nathan takes out Nello. This is quite a bit of work being put in by who knows.
Yeah, and at the same time, MnM just don't seem to be switching on. You saw there Kendrew having to run away from a nade from his own team. It's, you know, they just don't seem to have that coordination that they normally do. It'll be interesting to see if this turns around when they get onto defence. We're going to see an attempt at a C4, but just hitting the ceiling there takes it away. We're going to see that bathroom wall opened up, and no surprise, Citizen gets the kill onto the mirror of Ghost. But that still leaves 4 versus 3 with only a minute to go, and Saves is going to have to win this battle here. He does get a good ping, and we see Northumbs just challenging there, and he is going to lose that one. Saves gets the kill onto him, bringing us 3 versus 3. Citizen with a kill onto Prox, Nathan down. So this now is an effective 3 versus 1. Fantastic turnaround from MnM Gaming, and who knows, Rome Game just crumbling a little bit this time, where they have been winning those gunfights. They've really struggled to win out. Ace is just moving in. He gets the kill onto Kendrew while Citizen finishes Nathan off. I think he was moving in to get him. He will get the headshot with the use of the mirror, but it will be impactless as Saves moves in and gets the final kill for MnM. That's going to be their second round on the board. Let's see if this one can just stem the bleeding and turn the tide for MnM.
What did anybody... That was absolutely insane what that hipfire just did. Just a quick little tap. Absolutely eliminates Kendrew there and then. Still, doesn't work out for them. They lose the round. That was looking so promising for who knows. Sure, MnM, I think they kind of shown how dominant their gun skill is. That was just a given. We know that Saves, being that new Slayer into the position of MnM, he's Polish. He has to frag, you know. We've seen how well the Polish people play in this game. You know, going back to Patacalypso, going to Pact as well. They do show a lot of skill in terms of the way that they play aggressively with, you know, Buck, Ashes, absolute fraggers. So moving in, we do go to, yeah, again, another garage defense for who knows. This will be their second time going for this, and last time they did manage to defend it. So, last time it was a 2-1-2 split, which really did catch MnM by surprise. If they're going to go for the same setup, I do not think this time it will work. I really don't think so.
No, I don't think it will. They know, I'm pretty sure they knew that Ace was playing out of Bathroom. They know that they need to push him out of there. We saw some pressure applied to Bathroom last time around with Kendrew coming in and opening that wall up. So it seems like MnM are certainly recognising that as a bit of a linchpin of the defences of who knows here, and they're definitely applying some more pressure to it, which is going to be important. I think you're probably right, Demo. We've got the Castle and the Cav playing upstairs. It looks like Prox is just playing on those yellow stairs in between both floors, so we're certainly going to have another strong Rome presence from who knows here. But MnM last time around got themselves onto that middle floor. They did lose a couple of gunfights, but they were there to clear out the roamers. I think they've recognised that they have to do that before approaching site. They did it very well, and I think we're going to see that again. They've all managed to approach the building safely this time. Saves with a fantastic kill onto the cab. That's an absolute huge one if you're thinking about clearing roamers out. I'm sure Ghost is going to find himself getting challenged very quickly here, and the Saves comes in with the second kill as well. So that is now going to bring us 5 versus 3. The top floor is clear, and this is a textbook consulate attack so far. Get into top floor, clear the roamers out. They're now going to move downstairs. Prox is going to feel the heat along with this pretty soon, I'm sure, as MnM continue this push downstairs.
So the difference in MnM this time attacking in towards that top floor. So they've actually decided to drone out where these players are, which they really did lack the last time. I love that they have decided to hard stick Saves on that buck roll. Whenever they did attack it in round 2, they didn't have a buck. They had no way of soft destruction, which does also help quite a bit in terms of clearing out Roamer's top floor. There's a lot of soft walls you can't open up. And of course, with that final push in, you can just free range on any parts of that piano flooring, even in towards antechamber. Just make sure that nobody can play inside of garage or in towards the yellow stairs. It's very simple. You as a buck to know your specific positions you need to open up. More than likely, we're going to see NoFoams or Ace die to a buck momentarily. If he does do his job, that is, he could be challenged as well by that FO12, could also dish out some shotgun damage. But really, time's ticking down. You have a minute to go. You're just waiting for the call to go for a plant. If you're Kendra in this scenario, easy pickup from Doki, eliminate smoke, big factor off the board. Ace will try and play aggressive with a pistol rather than the FO12 in this scenario. goes for the peak, starting to get bucked from above like we imagined, and Citizen, he will finish ace off a 1 versus 5. Prox does this well, that certainly will be a big payback for him, but no, Doki swiftly moves in, eliminates Prox, and a good cleanup round from MnM.
Yeah, much better from MnM, and that's what I was saying. I think it was round 2, round 3 that we needed to be seeing from MnM was just a bit more of a professional approach, you know, rather than just going hell for leather, steaming up to the building. They were losing men early every single round. This time, they've approached with a lot more caution. They've still got themselves into admin after about 15-20 seconds. They've cleared out 2 top floor roamers very, very well, and they've cleared down from there. And they've certainly gone back to the book and really settled down that attack. I think Who Knows had all 3 fallen back to site with 1.5 minutes still to go. That is an awfully long time to try and sit in sight with 3 anchors essentially and just wait for a team like MnM to attack you and to come onto you, because at the end of the day you're allowing them to choose their angles, you're not hassling the flanks, they're not looking over the shoulders. We saw Doki move down with a great kill onto the rotating player moving through towards pipes, and from there it just really sort of fell apart. So we're going to see round number 6 now, 3-2 in favour of MnM Gaming. If they can attack as well as they did then, I think we're probably going to see this one go 4-2 in their favour. We're going to see a top floor hold. I mean, again, Who Knows did very well on the last top floor hold. Again, if you remember, it was the yellow stairs push. They had the vigil run out from garage. You don't get away with that twice, surely.
This will be their 3rd and final time that they will have this bomb site to defend. First round it did go in favour of MnM attack. They moved in very swiftly through that admin area. And then the other time they said to attack it, they got absolutely massacred trying to go for that yellow stairs take from, yes, granted, a very strong run out coming in from Who Knows. Again, Ghost putting pressure, trying to find something that will at least give his team just that little bit of momentum going into the round. We will see the yellow stairs push once again be performed by MnM. I really hope that they do watch their flanks. Typically, if you are going to go for a yellow stairs, you more than likely have 2 players push up in towards yellow, 1 on the double B windows, 1 watching runouts, and typically 1 playing on Skylight. That's the kind of split you have, and of course that guy from Skylight can rotate to any numerous windows that you have on a map like Consulate. But really, MnM didn't do that. They all just kind of hung about outside the B and then just got absolutely killed, like we've seen time and time again from these different runouts that Consulate does provide. I'm quite surprised that Valkyrie also got through the banning phase, and whenever she does, we're not seeing MnM pick an IQ. I question that.
No, we saw IQ, I think, in the first round, and you're right, beyond that we haven't seen much more. Just going to get a peek of the Valkyrie of Prox there, I think it is, playing in that B bomb site. Is there going to be a challenge? It's definitely a bit of cat and mouse between the 2 of them here. The Dockerby phone call coming in, but Prox is going to ignore that phone call and take the head off Citizen Nathan, following suit with one of his own onto Doki. So once again, we're going to see Who Knows take a strong man advantage here, and even stronger as Prox comes in with the kill onto saves, leaving them 2 versus 5 now. But you can never count MnM out. Kendrew and Nello, but as I say, that ace is going to get away with that aggressive play again. Kendrew will trade it out, but more than likely going to be impactless as he tries to approach top floor, and Prox will get his 3rd on the round onto Kendrew, and another great defense from Who Knows. They took the gunfights and they won them. Simple as that.
There is rounds like that where your fraggers just come alive. They will single-handedly win you a round, and I think that maybe for those attacks, MnM should possibly consider going to take in towards lobby and piano and bring the Buck in and start doing some damage. And that's why we have Buck available, because he does have that top-down control where you can Buck from below to Buck in towards the top floor. You can do that equally on a map like Consulate, where there is numerous different floors you want to try and buck. You know, heck, I've seen teams go in towards garage and start bucking in towards the piano for a piano bomb site. All these things are completely viable, and maybe MnM need to rethink it, because they just kind of, once again, rushed it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the point, Demo. They just rushed it. They weren't getting into the building safely. I mean, we saw on that last round again, I think we saw at least 2 killed outside of the building, possibly 3. And they're just not getting themselves inside safely. I think they just need to take a little bit more time on the approach. We've seen one really, really good attacking round from MnM where they looked absolutely clinical. And that's exactly what they did. They slowed down, they got themselves to the building safely, they went in through top floor. Saves got 2 fantastic kills onto the Caveira and the castle just to really open things up. And from there, you're not going to beat MnM. It's very unlikely. When they're 5 versus 3, they've got top floor control. Whichever site you're on, the likelihood is they're going to take the round from there. But how many players have we seen from MnM die outside of the map so far?
It's a map like Consulate that kind of fits into that play style where there's numerous runouts, there's a lot of windows as well you have to be cautious of. Well, of course, that's all done now. That's the first half done. We've seen Who Knows, they've managed to break even on their defense. But then again, Consulate really has seen a rise in its defensive play. Of course, that kind of leads into what we talked about with the windows, with the spawn peaks, all that different stuff plays into you as a defender. Maybe it's just the lack of a Maestro or Echo which really does let down a lot of teams because they're not accustomed to playing without one of those on a map like Consulate. Typically we see, yes, Maestro or Echo, but then typically it's Valkyrie who was available this time. I think for a Valkyrie on a Consulate, it's a lot more scary to deal with than like a Maestro in my opinion. Simply because there's so many good camera spots in Consulate compared to Maestro cameras. With 2 Valk cams, you can cover the entire 70–80% of the external walls of Consulate quite easily. And like you say, there's so many run-out options. Do you really want on attack to bring 3 Claymores to cover all those potential options for run-outs? It's a lot of utility just to cover that. You're then, you know, really limited. You don't have enough utility to clear out ADSs, for example. It gets very, very difficult on the actual internal attack then because so much utility has been spent watching those runouts. So yeah, Valkyrie very difficult to deal with. IQ becomes almost essential there. Something that we weren't seeing MnM bringing again. You know, how much impact those Valkyrie cameras had, we can't really say because we don't know, you know, necessarily that players were watching them, but there's a lot of runouts, there's a lot of external kills, and I'd have to suggest that, you know, it probably did have an impact. Yeah, I think that's quite a big part being played, especially there's no IQ at all being shown from MnM, which was, again, another big misstep in their tango. But hey, we move in, and it will be MnM with their defense, and then we will see Who Knows on the attack. And, well, for a much newer team who possibly doesn't practice regularly compared to MnM, sometimes attacks can really be your undoing. It's a lot easier to defend as a new team compared to attacks, because whenever you're attacking, you have to adapt to what the defense set up. Yep, absolutely. Like you say, on your defense, you already know where you're going, what you're doing, and how you're going to do it, or at least what the intention is. Whereas attack, the teams do have structures. They do have, you know, a step-by-step idea. They want to move into this area, they want to clear that out, gain control here, and then, you know, push onto site, and they set themselves up for an execute. But like you say, you've got to think about so much on the fly. You can have that plan in mind, and then as soon as you get your drones in and take a look, they've set up slightly differently to what you expected, and they've countered what you were intending to do. So then you've got to think on the fly and do something different. But I think moving into this 3 versus 3, it's not ideal for MnM. I'm sure they would have hoped for better on the attack. I think now that they've got themselves onto the defense, though, we're maybe going to see a slightly different half here. I think we're probably going to see MnM quite dominant on the defense. They're going to have Doke and Saves more than likely out on the roam. We've seen how good they are on the gun skill, and I think they're going to be looking to really get aggressive against this Who Knows team. So I like the way that they're going to kind of copy what Who Knows did with that split. Looking at Who Knows, their attack, well, this is interesting because we may be seeing a very fast rush from Who Knows. They start entering in through towards that visa, and they start rushing in towards the server. They have to think it to try and boost up the ADS off the Blitz, but he gets met by an impact need as he will start to move on in. Here comes the big bad Blitz. He finds the mirror, but no! The total shutdown from Nello sniffs him out. Nathan as well, he will fall, and this is him crashing down. Nello eventually gets finished, but he's done so much work. There's 2 players on the ground. This is why they bring the Finka, but she's dead. Prox on the other side of the map. Ghost is dead. It's down to Prox. 1 versus 3. He has hatch control, sees the castle, doesn't land his shots. 2 minutes to go, and well, MnM just stuffing out everything that Who Knows tried to attempt. Always fun to see, but in the end, more than likely, we're going to see MnM come out on top. But nice try, have to commend Who Knows what they went for. If Finka wasn't the one who got killed, that could have been 2 people being picked up, which, yeah, would have been massive.
Yeah, that global ability, just push of a button and 2 people bounce back up, like you say, could have been massive there. But I think, you know, if they were ever going to have a chance of beating MnM without clearing the roam there, that was certainly it. But Nello certainly didn't panic, showed his experience there, just kept himself nicely wedged in. Great shots onto the blitz, they're never easy to challenge, but he just, you know, waited for him to drop his shield into the ADS there and then did not miss his shots. So Prox, still a minute to go, he's definitely got time to work his angles, but Citizen has had time to move around behind him. He will get that final kill. It was always going to be a big ask. We see him moving through Piano there, and just as Prox moves up on the sledge there, he gets taken out, and that will be the first defensive round to MnM. And I think what's more dangerous there is Who Knows have sort of had their opportunity a rush now. They've had the opportunity of surprise and it's failed. They don't really get another chance of that now, because it's going to be in the back of MnM's mind and they're going to have one eye on that that possibility. So from here on out, we're probably going to see slightly more orthodox pushes from Who Knows. They're going to be bringing the IQ. No Valkyrie on the other side, but they do have a pulse, although Citizen looks like he might just 6-pick that out onto the Valkyrie. So they are aware that there's an IQ there, but they're still going to bring that Valk and see if they can get those cams past her.
So generically, the format that we've seen from MnM has been Doki, and at the time was Funkers, on a very strong room game. And then they played Citizen as that C4 operator on his own. He would kind of sit, lurk in the shadows, and he'd come in very well for the flank kills. That was kind of the trio of death that MnM did set up. Funkers is no longer here. They have had to make adjustments. I don't think saves would kind of fit in towards that playstyle. I think he's much more of an up-close gunner. He just wants to take the fights head-on, as Doki was that main man who would take the fights, and then Funkers would kind of clean up where Doki couldn't. It's early days. You know, Saves has only been on the roster for a couple of weeks at this stage. Not enough time to really establish the new MnM playstyle. Heck, even Kendry's been pretty new at this stage as well. He just joined them after Epic LAN, and certainly MnM, they now have a lot going for them. They've qualified for Challenge League. They can start their preparation. It's going to be a lot different for MnM. I know that the guys talking to them, they're feeling very confident about Challenge League, but hey, you have to play 2 matches a night. You're going up against 7 other teams that you have to play inside of a round-robin format. Sorry to tell you, Elegance and Gig, you're going to have to work your butt off to make sure all that information gets put out.
Yeah, going to be a lot of prep work, like you say. It's just, again, stepping it up to that next level. You know, and that's exactly what it needs to be to prepare teams for the potential of going into Pro League, where, again, it's another step up, and it's a huge one each time. But definitely going to be interesting to see how MnM do. We're going to see Doki just hiding himself away on site there, probably getting on the cams, just looking to see if there's any opportunities. We see the Valkyrie doing exactly the same thing. So at the minute, it's quite a slow approach from Who Knows, and MnM just trying to gather as much information as they can do. We can see pings coming out there from the attacker drones as well. So really is just a bit of a war of information at the minute, trying to find where they are. And what a kill from Prox onto Citizen, just gets himself upside down on the rappel. There must have been a shout from a drone there just to say he was approaching those windows, and Prox taking advantage of that on the sledge. And that's, once again, we've seen so many times Who Knows coming out and getting that first kill into the round. It's just whether they can really take advantage of that or not. Ghost has got himself quite well up into the long desk area here. We can see the Hibana of No Thumbs is off to his right as well. He's going to start opening that wall onto site, or at least attempt to, and they're just going to see if they can start applying a bit of pressure to that meeting room. The smoke coming out down the corridor from Nello there. No surprise to see Nello on the smoke, his signature operator. Ghost is just going to move around to that single door, apply a bit more pressure to site, just watching into that connector area, but he's not going to be finding anybody just yet. They're not too keen to peek here. MnM playing very patiently.
So Ghost will also find one for himself on the Kendry. That's Legion gone. Wherever goo mines are scattered about, that will be them stuck where they are. Legion has been one of the most popular operators, I think, in recent weeks. He's been almost a must-pick. That's why we see the nerfs coming in from him time and time again. Doki will find one, but then Proc straight away with a refrag, and Ghost also puts another one in the grave. Doki will fall. It's down 10L, 1 versus 4. Hey, here's a smoke. We have seen smokes clutch up worse positions. But really, from a map like Consulate, where there is a lot of long angles, it's very difficult for a gun that only has 17 bullets that do fire them off in quick succession. And with only 1 bullet in the shotgun, he will have to apply everything with essentially the SMG-11, but Proc's massive round for him will eliminate Nello, and that will be Who Knows pulling back yet again. Another round.
Proc's having a great game so far. He's certainly picking the kills up for his team, and you know, you can see even since the rehost, he's got himself another 3 there. He just seems to be right place, right time at the minute. You know, that upside down rappel from him on the balcony windows, a great example of that. Nello in a very difficult situation there, 1 versus 4. But again, Who Knows, not chasing the kill, did what they needed to do, got in, got the diffuser down. You know, always focus on the objective at that point. And again, it just applies more pressure to the remaining defender there, because they've got to play against the clock then. They have no option of waiting out and trying to hold an angle or anything like that. They've got to become the aggressor. So we're going to see MnM going back up to the top floor. They're obviously confident that they can do better than they did last time around. We saw a very patient approach from Who Knows. Got 1 or 2 picks from outside, got themselves into admin, moved through. I think it was No Thumbs and Ace got themselves, or No Thumbs and Ghost got themselves through admin very, very well and applied pressure to that A site, and then it just crumbled from there, really.
So we go for yet again another console office defense. Still, I would have liked to see MnM pick up the Mira. Not because, sure, she is sometimes pretty weak, especially for a map like Consulate, where it is very easy for a coordinated team to pick out the specific Mira windows. You know, you can simply go on to that main connector window, eliminate the Mira window that is typically played there. But, like I did say, coordinated team. Sometimes Who Knows on the attack doesn't have that same coordination, which again, we've talked about, they've struggled with this over the season. And if MnM have seen, oh, they're a newer team, they've only qualified for this Premiership, still, they're only going to be able to push in towards that admin office. It's a lot easier to attack the admin compared to Yellow Stairs, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong for Yellow Stairs, but then it does provide a bigger payoff if you do manage to go for that plant. For the admin take, it's so much more simpler to drone out and toss a nade to kill whoever's in here. That's why admin's been very favoured by Who Knows compared to Yellow Stairs, and simply because Yellow Stairs has very aggressive defenders playing in towards it, like the smoke with Nello playing there with a shotgun. It's a lot more favourable for Who Knows to simply go for this push, because one, it's worked for them before, and again, it's a lot easier for them to successfully pull it off. Doko, however, he will manage to find the first kill on towards the Sophia. Very sloppy from Who Knows. They didn't have anybody covering that, which I do question. This is a great position for Citizen. He's not being droned. Nobody from Who Knows has an intention of actually going downstairs and getting rid of him. I say that. Caster's Curse, I think, is a great example there. Well, I can't believe that just happened, but yeah, that would have been a great position to provide so much intel. Also, C4s from below were a thing, but hey, well done to Prox, and maybe that's because he's played with him before.
Certainly could be. Prox moving up and getting another kill onto Doki, and his reign of terror continues at the minute. Ace with a kill onto Saves, so that puts it into Who Knows' favour, and again another good admin push. As you said, Demo, it's, you know, much easier than that yellow side push potentially. Once you get yourself established in admin, there's no real flanks to watch until you push beyond long desk and you've got those Visa stairs behind you. We've got Kendrew just holding a tight angle with the dock there on to that A site door, so he's going to wait for that push to come. He's just going to be patient, and this is where you can sometimes do, they've got 4 on 2. Personally, I'd maybe like to see one of those quicker operators, maybe the Hibana or the Ash of Nathan, just getting himself round to that B side, onto the yellow stairs, onto the single windows, and just applying a little bit of pressure from that west side as well, so that you can't have somebody like Kendrew just sat in there waiting. Nello is gonna see the plant going down. He'll get himself a nice easy shotgun kill from underneath onto No Thumbs, and this, it could be a vital error from Who Knows, not clearing Nello out from underneath. Kendrew coming in with a double kill as well, taking Ace and Prox, and all of a sudden we have a complete switch around. Nathan finds himself on his own. He knows that he's got Nello down below. He got Kendrew to challenge in front of him, which he's gonna do. He'll lose the fight to a pistol headshot, and that is an absolute throw from Who Knows. I think on that one they had so much control and just failed to clear Nello out, and it was almost as soon as he got that vertical kill from underneath, it completely took their focus, because they realised there's somebody downstairs we have to deal with. Kendrew then took full advantage of that, got a nice double kill for himself, and it just absolutely flipped things on its head.
I still would like to see, not just pointing out who knows, but also MnM. We've seen both teams kind of lack the flank protection from below. That's kind of been a running issue with both of these teams. I would like to see somebody potentially play in towards Spiral, because again, it provides you that access and control over towards that circle desk, which, like we see, Nella was playing in there, someone was stationed on the Spiral waiting for someone to drop down that hatch. Free kill. And also, because you are very close to the Spiral staircase, takes you 2 seconds to run up and you're in the bomb site. It's a great versatile position you can play. It gives you great adaptability. And again, if they did that play, Nella would not have been able to do what he just done, and that was a great play by him. You have to commend him. That's something we haven't, seen. It's something that we have seen a lot of the time from Nello. Sure, you don't have a pulse, sure, you don't have a Valkyrie, but you still have a smoke with a shotgun. That's all you really need in a ping. And as you can see, that was all that was needed to put Who Knows away. So we move into this garage defense. Last time Who Knows went for a very strange rush tactic. Commend them for it, and nearly paid off, but just that final fine-tuning. Maybe take some lesson from Vex, you may get a little bit better at your rushes, but they have completely remodeled their attack strategy. So no Finka, they have no Blitz, they have no IQ. Instead, Maverick and Ying for the first time are actually going to be shown, which those two operators for this bomb site, very scary.
Yeah, I'd like to see them clearing those roamers out. We've got Citizen out there on the Bandit. You know, Prox is moving in very quickly. He's got himself established in bathroom. I was going to say I'd like to see them clear the roamers out and just get Prox free reign to get into piano, get into corridor, and really apply some vertical pressure. It's something that we saw MnM do well on the attack. They opened things up with the bucket. You know, definitely paid dividends on the attack of Garage, and I'd just like to see them afforded that. Nello's going to get a great first kill onto Ghost. That takes the Ying out, and it loses some really important utility when it comes to plant time.
Prox does manage to find Kendry, but everybody else has decided to fall. That's a complete massacre. MnM, Doki, and Citizen picking up the kills. And the one reason to why that rush tactic doesn't work is because Mira's still on the board, and that's why, for this reason, you ban a Mira if you want to go for those strategies. Sure, if they wanted to not go for that and go for the more standard play where you take your time, you want to open up the Mira window at distance with the Habana pellets, or possibly a Twitch drone could be that flex pick that you need. But in that scenario, whenever you're trying to go for a rush play, and you still have a Mira window that, sure, may not be able to land shots, but it's the intel that it gathers. There's no Echo. There's no Maestro. It's puzzling from Who Knows that they're going for this play.
I think on the Garage site in particular, we've seen it across the board from Who Knows. You've commented on it already, Demo. I think on the Garage site particularly, we've certainly seen a lack of sort of a cohesive attack. It's been a rush play in the first round, which, you know, is not something you would normally see. And again, they approached the building really quickly there. Prox got himself, you know, almost into sight. He was moving through the map very, very quickly, but there just wasn't a coordinated push there. They lost one man, and then they were surrounded and taken out very, very quickly. And I think Who Knows on the attack, just a little bit less of an idea there. But, you know, as we've said, they have seen a couple of roster changes, and it's just going to take time for them to gel a little bit more. But coming into this last round now, MnM putting back-to-back rounds together. It's the first time since round 4 that we've seen the same team win 2 rounds. It's been very backwards and forwards, but getting on to match point now, we're going to see a lobby defense, so it's not the easiest on the map, but I think I would expect to see MnM just seal this off and get the win here now.
So they will be going for their first lobby and piano defense. We haven't seen this from them yet. We did see this bomb site being picked up by Who Knows, and MnM, they did manage to win it on an attack. And could we see yet again another quick rush? Sure, I have to give credit to Who Knows. They know they're up against it. Their backs are right up against the wall. They have to do anything they can that catches MnM by surprise. And hey, looking at this, this could work. There's a lot of players over towards that west side that may not be ready for this. Here comes 3 smoke canisters, and NoFums will try and go for the plant. Intel has to be gathered out. A C4 will land its target onto NoFums. Ghost will try and pick up the diffuser and go for the plant. Citizen unfortunately falls down the hatch. That could be crucial. They have no more C4s. Nello will put down Ace, but the diffuser has been successfully planted. Nathan will find 2. Saves on such low HP. Who knows? They could finally pull this into Round number 12, Doki will find Prox. He was playing at the hatch upstairs. Ghost and Nathan, where will this go? Diffuser is just ticking away. Citizen has got himself back in the fight. He did drop down the hatch, and all three of them are going to have to go for a retake. Sears will be the first man, since he is the lowest on the HP, to kind of sacrifice himself. Will go for the counter defuse. Nathan will find saves. The refrag comes in from Citizen. Doki will have to find the last one. The gunfight comes in. Nathan will win it. Citizen comes off it, and Nathan, what a clutch. A 4K from the Dokkaebi. Big plays from Nathan. And that'll be Who Knows winning that round as we head into round number 12. No way would anybody predicted this would go the distance.
Absolutely not, and I think I might have jinxed MnM a little bit there by pointing out that only 2 rounds have been strung together previously, and they can't get the third, which would have won them the map. So that's going to keep Who Knows alive for another round at least. We're going to see a top floor defence there, and I think that it was a good rush attempt, as you said. There was a lot of players off-site, away from that area. But I think another good thing there that I'd like to pick up on was the actual plant spot. We've seen this a couple of times recently. I think we even saw it at the Invitational, where that diffuser is put down tight inside those walls, those corners. And it actually makes it quite easy to get the counter diffuse, because the angle is very, very difficult to find from externally. But this time, they just placed it slightly further into the lobby. It forced saves away from the wall, and Nathan got a good kill onto him. But then what about that fight with Doki that he won? He really wasn't messing about.
Another big thing that really did sway the entire attack in the favour of Who Knows is that Citizen accidentally fell down that hatch inside of lobby. If that hatch was left unopened, he could have played in that corner, peeked around, killed the planter. That's the game. That's it, done. They cannot retake that without the coverage of smoke. We've talked about Consulate before. As soon as the diffuser gets planted on this particular bomb site, which is lobby, that's it over. It's a very hard retake because you can have so many long angles being held from all different angles. Sure, it was a good attempt from MnM, but still just that final little bit of advantage went in the favour of Who Knows. And that does send them into round number 12 where, hey, looking at it, they could manage to take a draw, and it certainly would be a massive upset in this circumstance. This is actually our 6th time seeing a console office defense. This is a 50% pick rate at the moment inside of this matchup. Whenever we've seen MnM play on console office, they have managed to they lost at once, and they also won at once. So they do have a 50-50 on this. Really can go either way. It just whoever has that final little bit of an edge. It was the recent time they played this bomb site. It was MnM who came out on top from the defense, so I think that the adaptation factor that we've talked about that MnM possess should potentially see them over.
Yeah, we're seeing a similar approach again from Who Knows here. Last time we saw MnM win this site, we saw Who Knows come in with this good, quick admin control, which they've gained. We saw Prox taking Citizen out down in basement on the pulse. They just weren't effective then at covering those rotations, which allowed Nello to move himself downstairs, got the shotgun kill from underneath, and that pretty much turned the tide as far as the round goes. So it's going to be interesting to see whether Who Knows learn from that or not. The Jackal of Ghost is going to pick up a track here. I'm not sure whose footprints it is that he's gained, but it's again going to put some pressure on one of those roamers over on the west side. But as I commented last time, we don't have anybody from Who Knows managing to apply any pressure. We've got Citizen and Doki coming out with a double kill, and that is huge for MnM now. 5 versus 3, and Who Knows are really going to struggle. They've lost Ghost on the Jackal, and that could have been important to help clear those roamers. But Nathan and Prox fighting the way in and levelling things up. That'll square things out at 3 versus 3, and this is definitely all to play for. Nathan now at long desk. He's going to put in the first of those logic bombs, and he's going to take out the Valkyrie cam. So this gains them some good admin side control here. And oh, Prox, unfortunately, he's just going to lose his life downstairs to Citizen, but Nathan will trade that back out again. Nathan doing some real work here so far for Who Knows.
2v2. 40 seconds to go. Kendry Nello They do have most of their utility still being available. I'm sure the Toxic Babes, he still has at least one in his back pocket at least. Nathan has no logic bombs. Ace can't really do much. There's not really any gadgets he could find. Maybe one Valkyrie camera, but in a 2 versus 2, are you really going to whip out a pistol in that scenario? No, you're not. Nathan will start to move on in, and quite interestingly, Nello has rotated downstairs. He's going to try and perform the same action he did the last time. Nathan will try and push in towards the plant spot. Nello lurking below. He's just waiting for the ping. He will see the ping, but that's not going to be the planter, as it is going to have to go down momentarily. Nello from below. Kendra cleans up. Just like last time, the pings of Valkyrie was too strong. Well, that just shows the adaptability from MnM that they've done time and time again. And well, for that console office, the final one, it does go in favor of MnM.
Yeah, I think we can't really criticise Who Knows too heavily there for not adapting to that rotation play from Nello. They were down to 2 men at that point. You can't really be having flank watchers when you've only got 2 left and 20 seconds on the clock. But Nello making a great decision to get himself downstairs and hassle them again. I think the Valkyrie cameras there, you commented demo, you know, not seeing Valkyrie band out. We've just seen exactly the power of the Valkyrie cameras there. 20 seconds left. You can't be trying to turn around and find a Valk cam to stop those pings coming in. And it's pretty much all she wrote then for Nello downstairs. Absolutely not a problem for him.
Yeah, in that final round, they were in a very comfortable situation, depending on not just the map movement, but just where they were positioned. There was no way they were going to get that planted unless one of them was taken out. But there was a couple of rounds there with Who Knows, which I felt like they could have easily had. I think there's a couple 2v5, 2v4 situations which could have easily gone their way, but maybe just underestimated them just that little bit, or just didn't keep an eye on the roamers at all.
Well, I just want to touch upon that last round that we've seen from the players of Who Knows. Yes, they did do a little bit of adaptation. They did play flank protection. You've seen Valkyrie got picked off trying to go for that C4 from below, which of course is great to see. But then the flip side of that time, they rushed it again and they lost 2 early kills. If they managed to hold their ground and let Prox find that first blood, straight away he can rush up that spiral like I've talked about, push straight in, and hey, that could have been a draw. But still just a little bit too far away for the likes of Who Knows to go up against MnM, but we have seen massive progress. And let's not forget, this is Consulate, a map which MnM have dominated on for so long, and there is times there where you wonder, why are MnM playing this map?
Honestly, I was really impressed with Who Knows overall. You know, they did some things very, very well, particularly on the defence. The way that Ghost was playing so aggressively to begin with. He picked up the first kill in the first 3 rounds consecutively and really fired his team up. We had a triple run-out kill from the Vigil of, I think it was Ghost again. And, oh no, I think it was Ace actually. It was just great plays to really hassle MnM and not let them get into the stride, which, as you say, Demo, on a map like Consulate is not an easy thing to do. Really great from Who Knows. A lot of progress there.
Yeah, I feel like with this Who Knows team, you know, they're very aggressive, they're very confident in their shot, but, you know, with some of the low-tier teams, you normally worry for the fact that they play too passive, they sometimes play a little bit too methodical or look into things too much, but they really did have a good game. I was a bit worried after the first half during on their defensive side and how their attacking side would be, but it was almost equally as good. But like I mentioned before, there was just 2 rounds which they could have easily had, and just very minor mistakes cost them this game.
Again, it's just kind of picking just little things out, but in the end, I think a good showing from Who Knows. They should be proud of themselves. They should hold their heads up high. And the one thing that we said they needed to do is not necessarily win the match or get a draw, score difference. That's only -2 to a very bad score difference at the moment. So hey, fly low, pressure's on you.
That is right, but the other thing as well is, even if Who Knows got a draw on the board, that's enough to say to fly low, well, if we beat you in next week's match, then that is it. You know, you have to go forward from then, and they could have made playoffs if they at least got a draw from this game.
Yep, they certainly could have done. It's, you know, obviously I think we're likely to see a Team Secret win. It's really going to come down to next week's. I think, you know, we're getting to a point now where Who Knows are going to need to pretty much clean sweep fly low, so it's certainly not going to be an easy task. That being said, what we've just seen from them, I wouldn't necessarily put it past them.
Yeah, they're looking like a very good team, but we'll have to see how it pans out next week as well. But we do have Gig on board to see what he thinks of that match and tell us all about it in our interview in a second. Hello, Gig. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, thanks. That was a bit stressful to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was watching it on the sidelines, and I was quite stressed as well. I was a little bit worried at the same time, just due to the fact that, Who Knows, they really needed this match. But how did you manage to close out the last couple of rounds?
Well, we knew defense would be easier anyway, especially since they just played mad aggressive on attack. We knew they couldn't do that. Sorry, on defense. Attack, we knew if they did that, it'd be easier for us to counter, and that's pretty much what we did.
And
we
we've
won a 2v4, like.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say, with that map.
We won a 2v4. Like, you're obviously not meant to win those. Their aggression got the better of them that round, and we won.
No, it was very well played towards the end there. And with Consulate, it's one of your better maps, I heard. And even though you struggled then, do you feel like you didn't play it as well, or do you feel like, who knows, just did a really good job on that map overall?
Probably a bit of both. Since we got saves in, we haven't practiced it as much as the other maps because in regards to CL, we knew we wouldn't play it as much because it would get banned against us a lot of the time. But also, yeah, they played really well. You know, like the aggression we just didn't expect. No one really does that against us, and you know, it did work some of the time for them.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I spoke about as well, is their aggression was one of the key factors there to help them towards on their attacking side. And you've qualified for Challenger League as well, and how do you feel about that as well?
I mean, that's 4 months ago I joined as coach. That was our aim. Had some up and downs along the way, players in and out, and a few tournaments and that, and we've made it. That's what our aim, that's our goal, and now go to achieve something bigger, hopefully make Pro League.
Yeah, and of course, good luck with that, and congratulations on your win in the Prem this week as well.
Thanks, appreciate it.
And some questions that I was quite curious just to see, not just only if it was one of their better maps, but what they thought going into it. But they still seemed quite confident, and they said the exact same thing we spoke about as well. But who knows, it is a very good team, and it's their aggression what really threw them off a little bit. Would you agree?
That's just the way that we talked about in the pre-match analysis. Was a team which has nothing to lose is one of the most scariest things you can play against. You could strat all week long, and if they just completely throw their strat book out the window, what can you do against that? Absolutely nothing. It's just the facts the way it is. We've seen it time and time again where even the best teams in the world have been beaten just because someone's decided to go off on one and do absolute rank nonsense.